Hello everyone and welcome to another Foul Original. In 1990, the WWE was firmly part of popular culture, and so another game would be released for the home video game systems. Following on from the success of WWF WrestleMania on the Nintendo Entertainment System in 1989, see our previous video for more on that, the game, originally developed under the working title of WWF Survivor Series, was called WWF WrestleMania Challenge. This game was developed again by the British developer Rare. Yes, that Rare again. The game was published by toy manufacturer LJN. They would go on to release further WWE games throughout the early 1990s on both the Nintendo Entertainment System and Super Nintendo Entertainment System. WWF WrestleMania Challenge would also be released on the Commodore 64 alongside the console release on the NES for the large European microcomputer install base. That would have included me. This game was released by Ocean Software, who had experience with porting many console and arcade favourites to microcomputers here in the United Kingdom and Europe. These games were stripped down versions of their bigger counterparts, but were just as ambitious. The game takes a lot of cues in its presentation from WWF WrestleMania on the NES in 1989. There are some changes under the hood. Each of the wrestlers have a unique moveset with a few shared moves they all have, like the punch and pin. For example, Big Boss Man has the Boss Man Buster, and Macho Man has his signature flying elbow drop from the top rope. This game also introduces the ability to attack your opponent by climbing up any of 4 turnbuckles to launch some aerial offense. You can attack someone in the ring or outside the ring with another new welcome layer to the gameplay. Wrestlers can now leave the ring and fight on the outside. This adds more depth to the game and a chance to recover if you need a quick break. You do only have a 10 count and there is an individual count for each player, so it will need to be a very quick break. Once a player's health bar is empty, they are vulnerable to pinfalls, and usually this signals the end of the match. There are also a whole host of new match types packed into this NES release. They've dropped the ability for the large 6-player match tournament from the previous WWF WrestleMania from 1989. This time around, the focus is on either 1 or 2-player simultaneous play instead. This time round, you can pick from one-on-one exhibition match against a computer-controlled character or against a friend, couch co-op style, using a second pad. A single-player tournament called the Super Challenge. You play as yourself and face off against the other 8 computer-controlled characters in a series of one-on-one matches. At the end, you become the WWF Champion. A brand new tag team match option. This exhibition match can be played in single player, tagging in and out against the computer, or you can team up with a friend to take them on instead. A brand new tag team tournament option. In 2-player co-op mode, you and a friend play as yourself and can take on 4 teams made up of the WWF superstars to become the WWF Tag Team Champs. And finally, a brand new Survivor Series mode. This version is 3-on-3 and can be played in either 1-player or 2-player head-to-head mode. Each player picks a team of 3 wrestlers to take part in a traditional Survivor Series elimination match. Wrestlers can be eliminated via pinfall, disqualification, or countout. As per the normal rules of the match, this can end up in a 3-on-2 or even 3-on-1 situation until one team is totally eliminated. The NES version of the game is a big departure from other games on the market up to that time. The whole match is presented from a top-down isometric viewpoint with a slightly animated crowd. The C64 version of the game took on the traditional side-on view and a very simple tournament. As with many games on those systems, it also relied on a lot of joystick waggling and more of a focus on grappling. Game feels like a massive step down from the graphics shown on WWF WrestleMania just 1 year before. The presentation of the health bars is quite innovative, with a smart use of the limited screen real estate. The sprites are recognisable, but lack real detail, letting this game down slightly. There is a feeling of loads of available space, and being able to hop outside the ring is a real joy. There is a crowd with some animation here and there. There's even some flashbulbs going off, probably for the benefit of those with flash photography. Other than that, this isn't really a step up from what we've seen from Rare on the Nintendo Entertainment System. To give Rare some credit though, the animations are smooth and detailed even with the minimalist looking sprites. As mentioned already, the Commodore 64 version is presented in a more traditional side-on point of view. As such, it's limited by what the microcomputers could output graphics-wise. This version is still quite impressive and would allow people like me who had a C64 a taste of the WWF at home. There are 9 wrestlers to choose from in this NES version of the game: Macho King Randy Savage, The Ultimate Warrior, Ravishing Rick Rude, Brutus the Barber Beefcake, Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, Big Boss Man, and Hacksaw Jim Duggan. There is also an additional player you can select named Yourself, which we mentioned earlier. This is a generic character not modeled on any particular wrestler. If you're both using the Yourself character, then each of the players will be a slightly different shade and have unique entrance theme music. The C64 had only 3 selectable characters: Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, or the British Bulldog. Just like the other games before this, we get an 8-bit version of your favourite superstars on the NES release. A little bit of pomp and circumstance for Macho Man Randy Savage, and even a version of Unstable for the Ultimate Warrior. It really does give the whole game that extra layer of polish that we are used to from Rare. The C64 has no in-game music due to the limitations of the platform, but does have a looping theme throughout the intro and in promos between matches. The improvements and extra modes really showed that there was a bright future for the WWE in video game form. This release would mark a change in the development of games under the WrestleMania license, with different companies taking it on. Be looking at those games very soon. Next time, Portability is the name of the game, with a Nintendo Game Boy release of WWF Superstars. Did you play WWF WrestleMania Challenge on the NES or C64? Who would you cast as your 9 wrestlers from today if this game was released right now? Sound off in the comments. Like the video if you did, subscribe and hit the bell if you would, share if you can. This has been a Foul Original. Thanks for watching. See you next time.